Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Synovial Marketing Masterclass. I'm your host, Hannah Lee, and today we are going to dive into content creation. So, we've been having so much fun lately with all of our interviews and guests, but I wanted to do kind of another solo episode to kind of dive into content creation. We have had so many questions lately. We've had so many discussions, about content creation. And so I felt that an episode was needed for that. So hope y'all are having a great week. It is super, super hot outside. I went and filmed some content this morning for one of our clients, and it is an outside, client. They work outside, they're a contractor, and it was so hot. So I'm a little sweaty and gross, but we got it done. We got the content taken, and we'll be back again tomorrow with them to get some more content. So, one thing that I feel like content is, what we hear so much, I guess, with clients with the issue of content is they've ran out of ideas, or they don't know what to say, or they feel like maybe if they're a product business, they're just posting pictures of their product, or service-based business, they're just maybe filming videos of the service, and that content isn't really converting. And the reason that that is happening is because there is one key element that is being left out. So, with that said, whether you're a product based business or a service based business, all of our businesses are solving a problem. So that's a big thing that a lot of people forget, is that even if you're a perfume business or a candle company, or you're a dermatology office, or you're a psychiatry office, or you're a fencing contractor, or a photographer, all of the, no matter what type of business you have, you are solving a problem for your ideal client. And we over here, I feel like we preach all the time. And I really try to, when we onboard a new client, we try and sit down and speak with them about the fundamentals of their business. So if we get a new client and they're coming on with us maybe for social media management, or maybe for email marketing, or for any of our services that we offer, I like to sit down with them, or have someone on my team sit down with them and go over the fundamentals of their business. Now, as a business owner, have you sat down and identified your ideal client? So, do you know who you're really talking to, or are you just like, shooting out there in the wind? I went through a program with the Jack's Chamber called Jack's Bridges, and they did an amazing job about sitting us down as business owners. It was probably, 30, 40 business owners in my class. And we all sat down, and it was a 12-week program. And we had to really break down the fundamentals of our business and write it out on paper. So that's a big thing that I feel like a lot of business owners just kind of skip over. They're just like, oh, I'm going to be a candle business. I'm going to have a, self-care products. I'm going to do whatever, but they don't sit down and think about, okay, who am I talking to? Like, if you could sit down and write out exactly, like, it sounds crazy, but big companies like Pepsi, Coke, Nike, all of these companies, Target, Walmart, whoever you want to think about as a big business, they have client avatars. So they sit down, and it sounds insane, but they literally have a name of a person. They say like Susie, and they write out all of these characteristics of their ideal client. So Susie shops at Whole Foods. Susie has 3 children. Her husband is in the military. They're a middle class family. And in this, they're evaluating how much money Susie makes, where Susie shops, what Susie likes. Is Susie more of a natural type person? She checks ingredients in her products, or, you know, is does Susie believe in like holistic medicine? Or, identifying all of these things helps you to create content in that exactly whenever you go to make a piece of content, you can pull out that sheet of paper with your client avatars on them. And there's not always going to be just one client avatar. Maybe there's like 3 or 4 for different segments of your business, or different lost what I was saying. Different like product groups or different services if you're a service-based business. But the whole gist of it is just sitting down and taking the time out to create those. Like, you have to know who you're talking to. And in that, we're also going to identify pain points. So maybe you sell, maybe you sell the candle company. So a pain point that your client is having, if Susie, let's just say, is into holistic, like natural products. So a pain point that she would have with the candle industry is that maybe these candles have all of these chemicals and additives and bad things in them. So she's been struggling to find, natural candles and natural products. And maybe she has 3 children. So a pain point is that her house smells like a locker room because she has teenage boys. And so she wants a candle that smells, will last all over her house, but is made from natural products. So maybe your candle fits that. And you're using natural ingredients, essential oils, things like that. So with all of this that we've sat down and we know our ideal client, we have our client avatar, we know the pain points of our client, then we can sit down and create content and create visuals, create video, create all of these things that talk to your ideal client. And when you start hitting those pain points of your ideal client, you'll start creating that content where your ideal customer is like, oh, she's talking to me. Like, was she in my house today? Like, she knows my house smells like a locker room. She knows that I have 3 kids and that I am frustrated with these, harsh chemicals and things that are in these candles. Let me check her out. Let me go see her Instagram. Let me go see her website. That is how you create content that converts, is because you spend the time to break down, your ideal client, break down their pain points. And, I feel like also authenticity is important, like making sure that, going back to like a fundamentals thing, and sitting down when you're starting a business, or maybe you've had your business, but sitting down and looking at your business as a whole and making sure that your brand ideals, like the morals and ideals and principles of your brand, match up with who you are, and that you can stand behind those those morals and those ideals and those things, because that allows you in your content to be authentic. So if I was, this is just an example to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about, but if I was vegetarian or vegan in my daily life, and I, don't use animal products, I'm only, um, not eating meat or things like that. And then I create a business that maybe some of my products contain animal products or something like that. I can't be authentic in my business and in my content, because that goes against what I stand for. So if you create a business that is around your normal, natural life, you'll be able to connect with your viewers and your ideal client so much more. And that kind of goes into the part of content where, not every piece of content is going to be selling. So some of the content is just showing yourself and showing kind of the behind the scenes, that your life matches up with your business and brand ideals. So maybe in your stories, you're showing, you making a recipe at home. And again, going back to like the vegetarian or vegan example, maybe you're showing a vegetarian recipe of something that, you enjoy cooking at home, or maybe you have two adorable dogs and you are showing that in your story. And maybe your product is like a pet care product or something, or maybe it's not a pet care product. Maybe you're um, a candle business, and you're showing your dogs, and then you kind of go into how your dogs make your house smell a little stinky. So that's kind of how the candle thing came about. But being authentic in your content is so much easier and will help that content convert so much better if your morals and ideals match your business. So, again, sitting down, going back to the fundamentals, really figuring out and dishing out your ideal client, making sure that you know them like your best friend. You know where they shop. You know what wealth class they're in. Are they middle class? Are they upper class? How many kids do they have? What do they drive? What are their morals and ideals and beliefs? And then also making sure that your brand aligns with your, morals, ideals, beliefs, so that you can be authentic and connect with that ideal client in a very real way. So all of this is so important in creating content. And I think, especially nowadays, as well, it's not just like there's so many content platforms, as we know. Threads was just recently added. We have Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Like there's so many. Facebook is kind of falling out, but there's so many content platforms. And I think another thing that people are, that businesses are failing to do, and I don't know if you feel like you can't or you're just not thinking about it, but repurposing content. So if you have been following along with us, if you know us, you know that we are in the automation game. We are super big on automating your business, putting systems in place so that we are working smarter and not harder. So this goes with the content game, y'all. So if we make a piece of content on Instagram and we spend all this time creating this piece of content on Instagram, why can't that be transferred over to Pinterest or transferred over to Facebook, or, using that piece of content in your weekly email? So, I'm big on email marketing. If that is one thing y'all have learned through all of this, I will preach email marketing until the day I die. But all of your content on whatever platform can be repurposed and reused and broken down. And it doesn't even have to be like, you don't even have to do that physically yourself. With automation and with AI and all of these things that are, out right now in the tech world, you don't even have to sit and break that down yourself. If you're interested in that, if you want to learn more about that, about systems and automation, we have an amazing, amazing, amazing program our systems and automations offer that allows our team to sit down with your business and go over the systems that you have in place and really dive into how we can add those automations into your business. So highly suggest that. But there's so many ways that, because we spend so much time on content. Content is king, y'all. Like, if you are a business in today's day and age and you are not creating content, or you're not creating videos, or you're not on social platforms, you're going to fall behind. It's something that has to be done in today's day and age. And that has been, that's a huge struggle that we deal with, is talking to these businesses. And, it's just a must have. You have to be on social media. And some people that's hard for them, and they're not, maybe they're from another era. They're not used to social media. They're not really on the social media train. But in today's day and age, social media is where people are searching and where that social proof is going to be found for your business. So, again, if you're a product based business, if you're a service based business, you have to be on social media, you have to be creating content. And it has to be real and authentic, and it has to be planned. Like, that's a whole nother thing. Is in today's day and age, content cannot just be thrown up there and just, oh, I'm just going to throw up a post, or I'm going to throw up this caption or whatever. If you're looking to create content that resonates with your ideal client, and if you are looking to make sales from your content, it has to have a strategy and it has to have purpose. And, whether that is in the visual aspect, I think that one of the most undervalued things when it comes to content is high quality visuals. So, as a creative marketing agency, we spend so much time on content creation for our clients, on creating those high quality photos and videos and editing and all of those things, because it's important. Like, I love talking about the example, it always makes people laugh, of if you're a restaurant and you have this restaurant, maybe your restaurant is beautiful, the interior is beautiful, you have an amazing menu, but you have super low quality photos of your food, or maybe low quality photos of the interior of your restaurant. And someone goes on Google and types in the name of your restaurant and finds your social media and sees these super low quality photos and low quality content that's shaky and looks like it was taken by your grandma. They're not going to go eat there, y'all. Like, I don't want to look up a restaurant and see some like crazy low quality photos, and I'm not going to go there. I don't care, like, I don't care who said what about the restaurant. I'm not going there because they didn't they didn't invest the the money into their marketing. And that, for me, like, I mean, I'm a little different because I am a marketing agency owner. But if I know that a business didn't invest in their marketing and didn't see the value in high quality photos and videos and marketing strategy, I know that that business is not very business savvy. Like, it sounds sad and it sounds bad, but like, if you are looking to take your business to that next level, you have to invest in high quality marketing. Like, for the first, I mean, possibly for the first 5 years or more of your business, any money that you're making in your business needs to be reinvested in the business. So, that money, that shows me that they are not investing in their business, and they don't, like, it's almost like they don't respect their business. It's kind of like when we talk about people that invest in their clothing and they have nice clothing. Maybe they invest in self-care, they invest in themselves, and they take the time to really like invest in themselves and keep themselves up and, you know, treat themselves nicely. And those people, ultimately, it's bad to say, but will be treated differently than people that maybe have raggedy clothes or don't take care of their teeth or don't take care of their skin. Like, that appearance is important. Like, you have to look like you know what you're doing, and you have to present your business in a way that people will, want to invest in it. Like, they'll want to go eat there, they'll want to buy from you, and it ultimately builds trust. The first visual that somebody sees on your social media or on your website, like, it's almost like that first impression. So first impressions are so crucial. We're kind of out of the era of having a beautiful grid, like Instagram grid. It doesn't have to be super aesthetic, everything matchy, but people need to, I talk about this all the time. I know y'all have heard me talk about this, but people should be able to go to your Instagram grid and know exactly who you are, what you offer, like what you are, if you're a candle company, if you're a fencing contractor, whatever you do, I should be able to go to your Instagram or to your website and know exactly what you do, exactly what your values are, and exactly like what your differentiator is. So that's a lot of times what people are missing in their content is they're not talking about what makes them different. So there's so many candle companies, there's so many fencing contractors, there's so many, self-care products or shampoos or shoe companies or food restaurants. There's so many of those. If we just say restaurants or if we just say shoe companies, but what sets you apart? Why should I go to you over someone else? And a lot of times that's what you're missing. That's what you are missing in your content is like people just post a picture of their candle or they'll say, "Oh, our new, limited edition coconut candle." Okay. Well, Sally over here has a coconut candle too. So, what ingredients are in your candle? How did you make that candle? And if your differentiator, let's say that you have a differentiator, any business you needs a unique selling proposition, which is your differentiator. If you don't have that, that's a problem. We need to sit down and we need to figure that out first of all. Because any business, we are not at this point in 2023, we are not reinventing the wheel. There's very few, I don't want to say no, because you never say no, never say never, but there's very few businesses that are reinventing the wheel. So there's very few businesses where this is the first of their kind. We're coming up with some crazy invention that is just like amazing. No one else has it. With that said, why is your business okay? So we're not reinventing the wheel. Your business is more than likely a business that is been developed, is out there. Someone else has another business that is the same as your business. So once we get past that, why is your business different? Again, sitting down, evaluating, why did you start your business? Going back to fundamentals. A lot of the times people start a business because they had a pain point. A lot of the times you started your business because there was not somebody in that niche, in that industry that had something that you needed. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this amazing woman, I don't know her name, but she started a shoe company because she had a problem with the way that shoes were sized. So they were either too wide or they were either too narrow. They weren't like the shoe sizing type of thing, just was not working for her. And her shoes were uncomfortable. Well, she started her business based off of this. She felt that shoes for her definitely were uncomfortable. Then she started doing research and realized that tons of people were having this issue. Tons of people were having uncomfort with their shoes and they just dealt with it. Like there wasn't, it was just uncomfortable. They had, the sizing wasn't correct, but what were they going to do? I mean, they weren't going to create a shoe. So she created this line of shoes based off of a pain point that she had. And she dug into this pain point and solved the issue. So going back and, realizing what is the pain point that you're solving with your business, finding your differentiator. What makes your product, your service different? Maybe it's the materials you're using. Maybe it's the process of creating your product or service. Maybe it's just your customer service. Maybe you're like really taking the time and effort to do the little things for your customers. You're going above and beyond. The customer experience that your customers are going to have when they come to you is way better than anyone else in the industry. But it is so important when we're talking about creating content to take the time to know these things and have a differentiator that sets you apart. So whenever you are, feeling like you are struggling with content, and whenever we have people come to us and they're like, I've run out of content ideas. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I feel like I'm posting the same thing. I feel like I've posted it all. Make sure that you have taken the time, or maybe if you've done it before, do it again. If you're feeling like you're in that rut, sit down again and go over your ideal client avatars. Maybe they've changed. Maybe you've been in business 5-10 years. Maybe things have changed. So let's sit down and go over those again. Make sure you have your ideal client avatars. Make sure you know your differentiators. Understand, go back and think about the pain point that got you into the business that you're in, or why did you start the business that you started. Think about the pain points of your ideal clients and think about the differentiators of your business. What makes you different? And then whenever we have done that, then we can sit down and create content around that. And another thing, because I feel like this too, and I have to tell our clients this, and I have to remind myself of this, is when you feel like you have, I have had clients come to us and they're like, we just keep saying the same thing. I feel like we're just saying the same thing over and over and over. And I feel like, people are going to get tired of hearing me talk about this or talk about, this specific topic. I had my mentor tell me this, and it has been one of the best pieces of knowledge, one of the best little nuggets that I have received. And I thought it was hilarious. When we go to the grocery store, and let's say we go to the grocery store today and they're selling apples. When we go to the grocery store the next day or in 2 days, do we expect them not to have apples or not to be selling apples because they just sold it a day ago or 2 days ago? People are coming to your business and are coming to you for an area of expertise. So I have to remind myself, we remind our clients that though it feels like you're selling or saying something again and again and again and again, you're always reaching new clients, new customers that didn't hear it the first time, especially on social media. We know the algorithm does not push our content or push our words out to the same people every time. And also, people are coming to you for that knowledge. So it's important that we continue to, maybe word it a little differently, maybe come up with some new creative content. But if you are feeling like you're saying the same thing over and over and over, or harping on a subject over and over and over again, it's probably good because you're the expert in that niche and people are coming to you for that information. If you are a candle company, people are coming to you for information on candles, information on that process. If you are a construction company or you are a shoe company or whatever, people are coming to your website and coming to your Instagram for knowledge and for information on that topic. They don't want to hear about something else or for you to go on some other random tangent. They came to you for this. Like, this is why they're following you, and they're subscribed to you for a reason. So just remember that. make sure that we are always, going back to our fundamentals of business, even if you've done it before, if it's been a while, sit down, break it back down to the fundamentals of business, make sure everything is still aligned with your brand, with you, so that you can authentically serve your ideal client and so that you can create content that will convert and that will sell. Ultimately, we don't always want to be just selling, but your content will convert, whether that's views or engagement, having people reach out to you, or sales, because you are speaking directly to who you need to be speaking to in your ideal client, because you have taken the time and sat down and gone over all the things that we've talked about today. So I hope this was helpful. As always, if you have any questions or maybe just want to talk about this process that we talked about today with content creation, our DMs are always open. I love getting to speak with y'all about all topics of marketing, life, small business, entrepreneurship, all of the things. So feel free to reach out to us with any questions or concerns. And if this episode was valuable to you today, please be sure to give us a rating and review below, because that really helps us spread the word about this show and get all of this marketing knowledge and goodness out to our ideal client. So thanks again for listening. I will see y'all next week.